happening, what it is. I go by the name of 100 Watts. Before we get started with today's show, we want to get the formalities out of the way. If you have already, we definitely appreciate you. If you haven't, please make sure you take a moment. Make sure you like the video. I need you to hit like on that video for me. All right. It helps out with the algorithm. Hit subscribe, helping the brother build the program, and go ahead and share it to each and every one of your platforms that you have available so that way we can let other motherfuckers know what we got going on over here. All right. I want to give a big shout out to Black Man and the Black Man Unfiltered Network for letting today's show go on and get us rocking. We're going to drop the link a little bit later. I want y'all to just give me a moment. Bear with me. Just bear with me. Let me get a little bit of work off. Let's build a conversation, and I want to invite people up and let's expound on it, okay? I want to start with something like let's not start with something that's too serious. I want to start with something that not a lot of people gonna care about. Okay, this is the last week. This is a free week. It's no football next week. Football starts. The interactions change, right? Whenever the football season, I don't know if people you don't even have to be a football fan to notice these kinds of things. You don't even have to be a football fan to notice these kinds of things. But during the football season, right, you go out into the world, especially for people like myself that like moving around by themselves. I'm okay with going out to restaurants and bars and things like that by myself. I like having dolo dates. Okay, that's what I call it, a dolo date. You know what I'm saying? But going out during the football season, a lot of people are more willing to have conversations. You have conversations with random people that you don't know for any reason in the world, right? If you live in the Texas, the DFW area, anytime you see somebody with a Cowboys hat on, you can just, whether you're a Cowboys fan or not, whether you're a football fan or not, you can create a conversation with random people simply based on the football season. So I say that simply to say, I encourage people, those people that are out there that are having a hard time building relationships and communicating with people and talking to people face to face during this football season right now is the perfect time for you to go outside and just take an opportunity to just get to know somebody you don't know. All right. You're socially anxious. I don't talk to people, especially for men. Like you that be out here complaining about not being able to get some and you not going outside to go talk to people. That's step number one. Okay. That's step number one. Go communicate with other people. All right. Excuse me. Now, for today's topic, mortality, a man's responsibility in life and death. Now, I felt like this was a great conversation because Black men as a whole, we already have the stereotype that Black men don't go to the hospital. Like that already exists for us. We already have this stereotype that Black men don't care about our health. We already have that stereotype. That already exists for us, right? And plenty of men prove that stereotype to be true time and time again. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely one of those men that proved that stereotype to be true time and time again. Go to the doctor for what, man? Man, I'm gonna drink some orange juice, take a shot of Robitussin, and call it a day. Fuck you talking
about? That shit lame as fuck.
It is lame as fuck. Because you niggas is getting sick and got something going on with you that you don't even know is going on. Sometimes, I'm telling you, a fear of mine, one of the fears that I used to have was going to the doctor with a cold and finding out you have cancer. That was one of the fears, right? You just go to the doctor just trying to get a physical or just trying to get a checkup, and then you find out that you really got some shit wrong with you. And I'm saying from the experience of actually having that happen, right? I wanted to talk about this today specifically, and I definitely chose today specifically to talk about this because I wanted to be able to take my personal experience and be able to talk to something that is very true in our community. Okay. Like I said, I encourage. I used to be a part of that stereotype. Go to the doctor for what? What are you talking about? Fam, being in your 20s, being a teenager, being in your early 20s, that was at a time where you can go play basketball, roll your ankle twice, and still get up and go to school in the morning like ain't nothing happened. I'm 30 now. If I go hoop today, My legs is gonna be sore. What's today? Today Monday. If I go hoop today, my legs is gonna be sore till Wednesday. I promise you that. I don't have it in me like I did as a teenager now. So now your body's changing, but still being that same ignorant ass nigga. I went to the doctor thinking I had pneumonia to find out that I have an autoimmune deficiency. Think about that shit. This is something that could have been found out, caught, detected a long time ago, but because my ignorant ass didn't want to go to the doctor, get checked out, now we're creating a problem. So the importance of this for me is, y'all hear them in the background all the time when I come up here. I got these kids in here I'm responsible for. So now my thought process is now going beyond getting up and go to work tomorrow. My thought process is going beyond what I'm responsible for on the day to day. My thought process is now going beyond all of what is in front of me. And it's thinking about what happens when my calendar runs out of pages. When my calendar runs out of pages, what's going to happen to the motherfucker? See, I'm trying to stop cussing so much. I'm working on it. Well, working and developing on what is going to happen in the next phase. And I know right now, just based on how life is set up, what it is that I've accomplished, that next part is nowhere near prepared. And part of that problem is who's talking at what point in our community are we talking about that? Are we talking about that to our teenagers? Are we talking about that to 20-year-old YNs? Are the OGs talking to 30-year-old men about stuff like this? Like, at what point are we actually sitting and having a conversation about our responsibilities as men, life and beyond? Because they change. See, like right now, even in the middle of having a conversation with my kids, say, "Hey, Daddy about to be busy. I got work to do." They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about none of that. They don't give a fuck about none of that. So the beginning of this, the in life part, that's where we're gonna start. That's where I'm gonna start with today's conversation. That's where I'm gonna start with today. We're gonna start about the in life part because a lot of it self-explanatory. Like we have a general idea. Most of us as men, we have a general idea. We do most of whatever is required of us. Most of us do most of what is required of us. Right? We're not perfect. Right? None of us are perfect. We're not gonna check all the parenting boxes off because there ain't no blueprint to this shit. I don't care what you say. There's no blueprint to this. You don't know what it is that you don't know until it's too late. That's just a reality. You do the best that you can with the information you have and the resources you have to provide whatever life you can for your kids. But we all know, like, the responsibilities of being alive, right? Making sure your kids eat 3 times a day, having a roof over their head, clothes to put on their back, a decent school to be able to get an education at, right? In a perfect situation, you also have the resources to put your kids into groups and organizations and on teams and stuff for them to be able to acclimate to communicating with their peers, growing and developing their skills, right? Because kids got to be around other kids in order to find out what roasting is, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but as a father, right? That structure, that discipline, all of those things that you bring during the life. Now, what I'm understanding, especially when it comes to my oldest child, is understanding all of the things after high school that I need to start preparing her for now. There's a lot of things that, because I have conversations with her mother, and there's a lot of things that I didn't know that she wasn't thinking about. I didn't know she wasn't thinking about a lot of the things that I am knowing that my child needs to learn. The responsibilities of being alive and having a circle that you're responsible for. We generally have an idea of what that looks like. It's not hard. It's not even rocket science. A lot of it basically is for most men is either giving your children what you had or trying to give them what you missed. That's the easy part for men. It's the alive part. It's the living part. The everyday, the day to day. I think that's the easy part. It's stressful. It's exhausting. It takes a lot of fucking energy, patience. It takes a lot. I don't want to minimize that. Right? I don't want to minimize any of that. Sorry. But this is it's the easy part. The part that the part that happens that I think is missed, that I think is ignored is getting that understand. Once you get to a certain age and you start having that understanding that your mortality can run out, right? My personal situation is different than a lot of other people's situation. I understand that my mortality is a lot different. I understand that my mortality, my thought process on my mortality is different than a lot of other people because a lot of other people think they're invincible, they have more time, nothing's gonna happen to me, all those different kinds of things. I think about it differently. I don't have a lot of time. That's how I'm thinking about it right now. I don't have a lot of time. I have to make the most of what it is that's here in front of me. It's like, oh, why would you be so dark about it? Why would you think about it that way? I don't see that as a negative. It's not like on some, I don't have a lot of time. I Nah, it's just I have to make the most of what I have in front of me. I don't I don't have a bunch of time to be wasting on like it's I don't have a bunch of time to be wasting on trying to appease people. So now again, back to being a man responsible, right? So now challenging that coming to that understanding of mortality is also a part where you kind of start challenging, does anybody appreciate or respect or give a fuck about what it is that you do? Right? That battle comes in like, all right, cool. I don't have a lot of time. Should I be spending my time focusing on the circle or living my best life? It's difficult. It's kind of hard. Like maintaining the the stoicism that men are supposed to have when you see time differently. When you see time differently, it's kind of hard to maintain some of the social norms that people have. So for me, a lot of conversations that I've had with the people that I love and that I care about are a lot more direct and succinct. Go, go. Cause y'all see I'm working and y'all still fucking with me. No, it's all good. Um, I try and ask my kids. I see a Big Ruck 77. I just asked my 12-year-old son what he's interested in doing as an adult. My oldest is 13, and I ask her all the time. Not all the time, like every day, but just randomly, like just randomly. Hey, what do you think about what is your plan for when you're done with high school? What's your plan for when you become an adult? Do you have a timeline in mind and when you want to move out to be on your own? Are you in a rush to move out on your own? Do you want to stay in your parent? Like I have those conversations with her. I think that's important. I definitely think it's important. I also think it's important again having that conversation, just having that understanding of mortality, right? If your timeline is short, just having those understandings. So that way you don't even have to wait. I'm not even trying to waste time on trying to put something on my child that she don't know. I don't have time for that. We ain't got time for that, right? Let me see. Black man, if you can, I got the all right, cool. We got past the 15-minute mark. Go ahead. If we can drop the link, if you got a second, you can drop the link for me. Anybody that want to come rock with me, I appreciate you. I fuck with you a long way. We can do that. The biggest challenge now, though, in terms of life, like I said, for me, is the self versus the circle. Because anyone, be careful. My apologies. So, self versus the circle, right? How what would be more beneficial, right? Because if your time is coming, it's your time is coming. What's more beneficial, self or the circle? And I'm pretty sure that the answer to that question changes based on where people stand, right? Because if our pain is here, I'm sure that his stance on self versus circle would be different than mine because he's already lived his life. His children are grown. Him and his wife are in a different phase in their life, and then all of this. So I'm pretty sure his stance on that would be different than what mine is because he's done a lot of the work. And he's probably had the line of this. So for the second part of this conversation, he's probably already had the time to put things in place to fulfill the second part of this conversation. My hope is that we can bridge that gap because especially when you think about the life expectancy of Black men, like how many times have we seen some of our favorite actors, musicians, and all of those things gone at 45, 50, 55, early 60s. Like, time not really on our side as Black people. It's not on our side for real. And I think we kind of ignore it and we're ignorant to it. And I think that's part of a lot of the disconnect that we have because niggas think they got all the time in the world. Niggas think they got all the time in the world to be able to right their wrongs and fix the mistakes and all the other different kinds of things. And we kind of run away from the responsibilities. And again, I'm wondering about that second part. It's that second part that's really thrown me for the loop of all loops. What do you do? How do you set up? What is supposed to happen? What are your expectations to happen? What is the drawback of your calendar running out of pages? I'm telling you right now that the first time that I had to think about it was in my 30s. I've been in plenty of situations in my life. I've done plenty of ignorant things where things could have been bad and it could have cost me my calendar, but it didn't. I made it to the other end. And now I'm in a space to where there is no dodging this. The calendar is going to run out of pages. I didn't even have an understanding of of what my responsibilities are after that. It didn't even come into my mind. Not until I hit my 30s did it ever register to me that when that calendar runs out, that you still have responsibilities, big dog. I find myself sacrificing financial gain for family. That seems to be that seems to be like the default badge. Like that seems to be the most common of everything. Because I'm excuse me, sacrificing. Because again, let me not do that. Let me finish what I was saying. Because that second part, right? When that calendar runs out of pages, You still have a responsibility. And I have a different understanding of that now, right? So like a will and testament. A will and testament is a real thing that it never I never really like no one really speaks to the seriousness or the necessity of a will and testament, of a life insurance policy. A, a life insurance policy. How like it would be all of the things that we pay for. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. I would have of all my adult life, I would have rather been paying on a life insurance policy rather than car insurance. You see what I'm saying? Like if there's just certain things that have seemed to have held more importance than other things, like a car insurance policy. All right, if something happens to my car, bet I have an insurance policy. And guess what? Most of the time, that shit don't help no way. Because guess what? They happen to find a loophole in where your policy doesn't cover the one thing that happened to your car. I low-key would have rather spent my adult life paying on a life insurance policy versus a fucking car. And like there is no benefit for it. There's nothing in return that comes for that to take care of your family other than if I happen to get in an accident. And in doing research for this, I found out that only 14% of drivers actually get into a serious accident that requires insurance. Bumper to bumper accidents, small minor accidents happen all the time. But in terms of like actually needing insurance, only 14% of drivers actually get into those accidents. And guess what? A lot of those accidents are repeated by the same fucking drivers. But here's one thing that is never going to fail. 100% of us is going to run out of time on that calendar, though. 100% of us are going to run out of time on that calendar. And especially in our community, we lose people way too often for way too many things. Health reasons, environmental reasons, violence reasons. We lose our people for way too much. And you never know when you just never know. You never have an idea. You never have an idea. And everything about our life is chase the bag and build for now and build and all of that. But I don't think that we put enough emphasis on the importance of that next phase. Because even thinking about once that happens, like all of the different lawsuits and arguments and things that happen from behind stuff like that, because you weren't prepared. You did all this work. You chased the bag. You done got the house and the cars and all of that. And now your family in the background fighting once your calendar run out because you weren't prepared. You weren't prepared. I watched a video. Where this girl was on live crying because her father had passed. And her father had ended up divorced. You know, her mom and her dad ended up getting divorced. He married another woman. The woman ended up having kids with him. And when her father passed, because he wasn't prepared, the second wife took everything, didn't give nothing to his daughter. Nothing. Not a fucking thing. Nothing. Because she felt like, oh, well, you know, you were a different situation. He got other kids now. I'm his wife. Your mama ain't. None of that. Everybody think they got all the time in the world, man. We all think we have all the time in the world. And we are all so focused on arguing with each other about what one person's not doing for the other and why you gonna die alone. We doing so much arguing that ain't shit productive happening right now. The productivity is going completely out the window when every conversation that's happening is I'm not worth this and you not worth that and all of that. Instead of coming to the circle to say, all right, this is what I have, this is what you have, this is what we want to leave for our kids, and this is the best way to do it. If something happens to me, this is what you have. I know that if something happens to me, I have to have things in place for the mothers of my children to be able to take care of my kids. Because if I disappear, everybody down bad. I need to hear from other men. And it's clearly going to have to be, at this point, it's going to have to be from men that are older than me. I have to hear about what the preparations are, what the steps are, what the thought process is. How do you start preparing? What are those conversations like? Like, I need there to be more open dialogue on what happens on that next part. Because especially when I'm listening, especially considering how much I listen to people talk about how we in those bad times and the rapture is coming and all that. Like, I'm listening to everybody speaking all this doom and gloom, all this life is over and everything as we know is done for. I need to hear from older black men on what it is that needs to be happening. Because if y'all are the ones that are in the positions that got the resources and got the game and have the knowledge and all of that, if y'all know what to do with it, I don't have that. I don't have that information. I don't know what to do with it. So talk to me. Tell me where is this supposed to be going? What does that look like? We don't have those conversations. Everything is beefing. Everybody keep talking about wanting to grow. And this is one of these things that we need in order to grow. How do we work that into the conversation? Where does that come from? Who creates the space for that to be the topic of discussion? Because as we know, all the clicks, the links, all of it comes from the beef. We already know that already. We know that already. But at what point there has to come a point to where we're actually being productive. And I do feel there's a lot of unanswered questions that come into life and death, the afterlife, the next phases, and all that. I just challenge people. Are we being complete fool humans? Are we actually working on what we need to? Because all this chase the bag, getting bitches, all of that stuff is old and run down. I need to know what the next steps are. A lot of people are not being genuine and honest when they come up here and have these conversations. And this is one of these things where I need people to be genuine and honest and have a conversation. Look, man, this clearly is not a topic where people like fuck with and want to rock with. I go by the name of 100 Watts, man, and I love those that love me. On the playback, when y'all watch this, I need y'all to go into the comments and I need y'all to tell me. I need somebody to give me will and testament. Cool, we got that. Life insurance. Cool, we got that. What is it that we need to be doing? How should somebody be preparing? What are the conversations looking like? What are the steps that need to be made? What are the precautions that need to be made? What are some of these things that we need to be doing to work on that next phase? Because if there's one thing that's guaranteed, is everybody is going to run out of pages on that motherfucking calendar. You done did everything you did in your life. You got to be sexually free. Cool, good for you. You had dick discipline. Cool, good for you. You followed the word of Jesus throughout your entire life. Cool, good for you. What's the next steps? What happens after all of that was done? I love those that love me. I go by the name of 100 Watts. Black man unfiltered. We always appreciate each and every time you let us come up here and be able to talk our piece and talk our. You feel me? If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave your comments down below, and let me know what you think about today's conversation. I want the community to also, please, tell us what you want to talk about. There's something that has to be something that you have on your mind that we may not have broached on, or we might have touched on and didn't talk long enough about it. Please leave those in the comments. Let us know what it is that you need us to talk about, something you want to address. And even some of y'all that be riding the chat and want to have an opportunity to come up on any of these shows, because y'all know Black Man got plenty of work going on. There's plenty of people talking about plenty of things in different ways to be able to provide a safe space for you to be able to get your shit off. So I go by the name of 100 Watts. I love those that love me. Black Man Unfiltered for yet another beautiful Monday. Shout out to Mr. Boomer and his wife for their anniversary. He out of pocket right now because they celebrating another year of a beautiful marriage, man. Shout out to each and every one of y'all. I love y'all. And until next time, y'all stay beautiful, man.